Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome to my channel, Just Meg. And if you're watching this video, you're here to learn about how to do beginner makeup, or for this video, the beginner base makeup plus skincare. So that's foundation, concealer, powder, and skincare and moisturizer things, you know what I mean. So if you're interested in seeing more, just keep watching the video. And if you're new, hello, welcome, I'm Meg. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment before you leave, and let's just get into the video. Alright, so let's just get right into the skincare portion of this. So the first thing I like to do is moisturize, and my favorite at the moment moisturizer is the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Plus Lotion. This, it's so good. It is $26 for a bottle like this, or there's a smaller size that is $14, but I just suggest getting this because it'll last forever. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 pumps, just like that, on my hands, put them together, and then go ahead and in circular motions put it on my face. If anything, going in a downward motion, because that puts the least amount of stress on your skin. And when you do an upward motion like this, it'll tug on the skin, creating like more chance for wrinkles. Obviously, I'm not that old yet, so, but I like to just be careful, you know? And I just like to rub it in until it gets a little bit tacky. Then the second step of my skincare before I put on makeup is I like to use this Mario Badescu Rose Water Aloe and Herb Spray. It is only $7 and you can find it at Ulta. And I just spray that on my face. This is also really, really good for sunburns. If you just, I don't have a sunburn right now because I'm super pale, but if you spray this on your face when you have a sunburn on there, it's honestly, it makes the itching go away, which is really good. And it's also a toner and a really good for hydration for dry skin, which I have. Alright, so that is it for my skincare portion of like what I think people should do before makeup. I think just a moisturizer, definitely for sure. You can skip the spray, but I always recommend the spray to a lot of people, so I feel like I'm rushing. Oh well. Alright, so the next thing I use is a primer, and for the summertime this has been amazing. It is the Hangover RX Primer by Too Faced. There's definitely similar ones at the drugstore. And like this one right here is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Actually, I think I'm going to use this one today. This is only, I think I want to say like $9, but it is amazing for a nice luminous base in the summertime. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 1 pump of this. It is like white and kind of shiny, so you don't need too much of it. And I'm just going to rub that all over my face. If you are more of a oily skin person, I would suggest using one that is a matte primer or a matte foundation, just because that will trap the oils in and you won't be like seeping everywhere. Wow, that's a weird word, seeping. I don't like that word. Alright, so now that you have your primer on, so for oily skin, a matte primer, for dry skin, a luminous primer. Just little basics for you. Then you're going to want to go in with foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using today is this brand new L'Oreal True Match Lumi foundation. Yes, this is the same brand as that primer. You obviously don't have to do that. You can mix and match all you want, but this is going to be very, very good for dry skin. Now, for oily skin, again, I would go with a matte foundation like the L'Oreal Pro Matte. It comes in this little squeezy tube. I've never tried it, but I've heard it's amazing for the oily skin people. Or there's also the Rimmel Stay Matte, and just other little foundations that are matte are great for oily skin. I'm like talking so fast that I'm like losing breath. Is that weird? I think that's weird. Right, so I'm just gonna take this little sticker off. It says nail on it. Oh, it left a mark. So today I think I'm gonna use a beauty blender. No, I'll use a brush. So I'm just gonna use this Tarte Airbrush foundation brush today, and then I will pat this in, and then over top of it I will use a sponge, just because it gives it a more flawless finish. The one sponge that you could use is the Real Techniques sponge. I prefer the beauty blender, but this is a really good cheap like dupe for the beauty blender. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a couple pumps of this on the back of my hand. I'm gonna do about 3 pumps to start. This is obviously a very runny foundation, but you can do as much or as little foundation as you would like. So I'm just gonna start by swiping this on my face. This might be a little bit too yellow for me, but that is alright. So I'm just gonna be working it into my skin. This is looking a little bit streaky. I don't know if you guys can tell, but with brushes you can sometimes get a little bit of streak in your foundation. You don't want that, so that's why I always go over it with a beauty blender if I'm using a brush. I will take some of it on my eyes as well, just to start priming them for the eyeshadow. I will do in 2 videos from now, but obviously I'm just gonna all do it today. And make sure to remember to take some down your neck as well, because your face does not usually match your neck. Obviously I'm pale everywhere, so I just try to bring it down a little ways. Just onto the forehead. Actually, this shade does match me pretty well. Maybe a little bit too dark, but I can always lighten it up with some concealer. Alright, so now I'm going to take that beauty blender and I'm just going to take this and dab it on my skin. Just all around. If you see 2 little marks on my nose, they are from my sunglasses. I've been wearing them too long today, so they always leave a little bit of a mark on my skin. Alright, so that is the foundation done. Alright. I do really like that. I like that foundation a lot. So now I'm just gonna continue to work it down my neck a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to be taking a concealer, and I will use also a drugstore one here too. My 2 favorites from the drugstore are going to be from Maybelline. The first one I really like is the Master Conceal by Maybelline, and the second one I like is the Superstay Better Skin. And in this one I am the shade 20 Light, and then in my other one I am in the shade 10. This is the wrong shade, but it's alright. That's the other one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Superstay today. Alright, so what I like to do with concealer, like this is one of the most common mistakes I feel, is that when people put on concealer, they only put it right here under their eye. They don't do a triangle shape. I think people should all do a triangle shape because it, for one, it elongates the face, and it also highlights the face while you conceal. So I think that's really, really important, and it just honestly, it looks a lot better than when you just put it under your eye, and it doesn't crease as much, I'd say. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in a triangle form just under my eye, and I also like to bring it up onto the sides of my nose. So again, the triangle form, down, and up on the sides of my nose, just like so. And then I also like to take the concealer down the middle of my nose, my lip, and chin, and just a little bit of highlight right on the forehead. You guys might not be able to see it that well, but yeah. So So now I'm going to take, again, a beauty sponge, so you can use the Beauty Blender or the Real Technique sponge. And just go ahead and I pinch close to the top, and I'm just going to dab it into my skin. Back and forth motions. And then I will also bring some of what's ever left over onto my eye. Now I'm just going to go down my nose, to the forehead, lip, and chin. Then we're going to go on the other eye. And this concealer will also act as a primer for your eyeshadow if you bring it up onto the lid. Alright, so now that you have the concealer done, it's time to set your makeup. I have to stress, it's so important to set your under eye concealer and your foundation, because that will one, make it last longer, 2, it won't make it sink into the fine lines, and 3, honestly, I think it just gives you a better finish. So under my eyes today, unfortunately I don't have a drugstore banana powder I can show you guys, so I'm going to just use my Kat Von D palette. But there's honestly NYX powders that you could use. I'm sorry if I'm looking into the viewfinder, I'm still getting used to it, but I prefer using this yellow shade and a lighter shade just under my eyes, and I think it just gives it a nice finish, and it also helps to highlight once again. Alright, so I'm just going to use this small tapered brush by e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. blush brush, but honestly I think it's great for setting the under eyes. So I'm going to take this yellow powder once again and the lightest powder and tap that off. And I'm just going to go ahead and press that into the skin under my eye. You might not see much of a difference except for the fact that it's being mattified. And do that under both eyes. And anywhere you put concealer, do this. Just use that powder and just push it into the skin. And then I'm going to take the yellow powder and I'm going to set my eyelids as well, making it easier to blend out other shadows you put on top of it. Bam, bam, bam. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the face, the rest of my face. So I'm going to be using again, I don't have any face powders, but I'm going to be using the MAC So Select powder today. It is my favorite powder of all time to set my face with. So I'm just going to take that wherever I haven't already set my face. So along my cheek, just like so, onto the forehead. Just continuing to press that powder into my skin, although bringing it down my neck as well. And onto my décolleté / chest area. And I'm just using this round top brush by Morphe. It's the E3 brush. Their Elite brushes are now switching out, so there you are. They're 60% off right now. This one is not in stock, I don't think. But just so you know, they're 60% off. Morphe brushes are my favorite. They're a really nice, affordable brush. They're more expensive than drugstore brushes, but I think these are definitely worth the money. Alright you guys, that is it for this video today. I hope you guys liked learning about the base makeup for beginners, an easier way to do it. You know. If you want to learn more beginner makeup, be sure to stay tuned for my next video. The easiest way to do that is to click that subscribe button down below and comment what you want to learn. And yeah, my next video will be on bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So I will hope to see you at my next video. Bye guys.